Salutations everyone, this is Razor bringing you guys a Black Ops 4 Emblem tutorial. This is what we're looking for, and this is our final product. You know, we only have so many tools available to us. I tried to see if I can make the ears pointy, that just doesn't work. We don't have all the tools available, so start off with a pink sphere. This is the color code that I used. If you import D.Va's logo that I showed at the beginning into the software, that is the code that will show up. I realize it does show up lighter here on Black Ops, so if you want to make it darker, go for it, but if you want to go with the shade that I have for whatever reason, that is the color code. And unfortunately, the old copy-paste trick to not have to change the color code every single time does not work in Black Ops 4. I don't know why. Whenever you change the layer, it switches it back to white. So it seems like, unless there's something that I'm missing, that shortcut is gone, and we're gonna just have to individually do the cues every single time. So this is a rather simple emblem tutorial. And what's great about Black Ops 4 is that, if you can see, it has the positioning, it has the scale, and it has the rotation data all there. So via math, like doing actual geometry, you can make every symmetrical logo that you make perfectly symmetrical within like an error of 1%, because you can move objects just a little bit without changing their X or their Y coordinates. But if you want to skip to the end of the video, that's at the 620 mark, I'll slowly go over every single layer to show you the X position, the Y position, the X and Y scale, as well as the rotation. So the only thing that you can't replicate 100% from what I'm doing is the transformation, you know, turning a circle into an oval or flattening out this rounded triangle for the nose. So that's the only thing you can't perfectly replicate, but that's what this part of the video is for, to show you the process of which I'm going through. So I had the bean as the base of the bunny face, and you kind of have to flatten it out because the D.Va bunny isn't perfectly round on the bottom, so I flattened it out with the good old crescent shape that is a tried and true. And then went with the rounded triangle for the nose, and of course we have the rounded line here that we're going to use for the mouth, one on each side. And I know it seems like it's kind of slow, but I'm literally off screen doing actual geometry, because I take a look at what the rotation is, and then I have to bisect it, you know, minus 180 degrees or 90 degrees, depending on the thing, just so I can get the rotation of the opposite side of the mouth 100% mirrored, so that it's perfectly symmetrical. So that is what I'm doing. I did the math for you so you guys don't have to, and I haven't done geometry in 9th grade, so you know, it's been a decade. It's been more than a decade. It's been freaking 14 years. And so yeah, that's the mouth. And then use circles for the eyes. You don't want to use the donut shape because it's too thin. And you'll just copy and paste on the eyes themselves so that you can do concentric circles. It's easily done. One of the more easy things to do in this game is make concentric circles, because if you copy and paste, it'll put it in the exact same spot. So all you have to do is shrink it via your right thumbstick, or you know, whatever control you have. And I'm gonna make the eyebrows a rounded square. It just makes it easier to get the sharper angles on the ends than if I went with an actual rectangle, because the rounded is a lot easier to deal with when doing the finishing touch that I'm going to be doing with the this little toenail clip, or whatever it's called. Another tried and true layer that I've used a ton of in the past, and we're going to use that to get the sharper edges on each side of the eyebrows of our little angry bunny for D.Va. And and you can also use the flip here, which is going to be the share button, whatever it's called, the thing that used to be select for 30 years. And so that way I could flip it around. Although that doesn't 100% work when you're trying to get something symmetrical, you still have to rotate it. It just, you know, it just saves you time from, you know, flipping it around. And sometimes it glitches out. I don't know what causes it, but don't worry. If you get something glitchy, nothing to worry about. You can just apply and then select again, and you'll be fine. I don't know why it does that. It's just kind of weird. At least in other Black Ops games, it doesn't have... sometimes when you apply something, it changes a few pixels off. Thankfully, that doesn't seem to be the case here in Black Ops 4. And I think we have 36 layers to work with, which I believe was the same as Black Ops 3. I only did one Black Ops 3 tutorial because I wasn't so much into that game, but Black Ops 4 so far seems to be a much better game, and it helps that they reuse some of the old maps. And here I am gonna be making the ears. Obviously, we're gonna take a circle, make it ovular, and just want to make sure it's at the right thickness at the base. Make sure the curvature starts at the right place as it would in the logo. You can look at my tutorial for reference, or look at the D.Va logo yourself. And obviously you're going to make one for the other side. You just got to flip the X coordinates and keep the same Y coordinates so that it's the same level and it's perfectly symmetrical. Then we're going to copy and paste each of the ear layers, make it pink to get the background, and we're gonna have to, this is the only time we're gonna have to move layers. We're gonna have to take that layer all the way to the very bottom, and just so you know it's not interfering with like the eyebrows or the eyes or anything. And then you're just gonna copy and paste that shindig. And I tried to see if you can make the pointy thing happen. You absolutely cannot. We just don't have the right layer for that. We don't have the right shape. Because we can get a point, but then it's not rounded on the sides. It's still going to be flat. So here it's super glitchy here at the end, but we're getting to the end of the video. So if you want to pause during each individual layer, you can grab the X and Y coordinates of the position, the X and Y coordinates of the scale, as well as what the rotation is. So the only thing, if you just copy all of that, your emblem will look exactly like mine. The only problem is you'll have to do your own free transforms, which comes into play with the ovals that I make, as well as the entirety of the mouth, but you really only have to get it done once, and then you just copy paste 3 more times for the rest of it. So it's going to end up symmetrical no matter how yours works out, just because it's going to be the same shape. And you don't have to worry about positioning because we thankfully have these X and Y coordinates, so they're going to be absolutely mirrored and symmetrical. The only part that might not be perfectly symmetrical is going to be the slants on the eyebrows, just because there's no mathematical way to, as far as I can tell in my rush job of doing geometry, which I haven't done since 9th grade, in making sure that it's 100% symmetrical, so you really just have to eyeball that shit right there. So yeah, I'm just slowly going through each individual layer. So if you want to pause the video, if you're getting the positioning right, then you can just go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead real slow. Everything's at 100% capacity. You can use whatever color you want. You could also, if you want, do the police shield variants, just throw the police shield in the back and, make it blue. That'd be perfectly fine. You could just write like D.Va on the bottom, make this logo smaller and put it higher so you can put D.Va under the bottom. But as far as like making the D.Va logo of D.Va, I don't think there's enough layers to do that along with this logo, which is why I did not attempt that, because that's just, there's just too much to do. Too many layers would have been necessary in order to do that. But I think it's pretty good. It was the first idea that I came up with. I always want to make sure that I have a really nice logo. Don't be one of those kids whose logo looks like it was just a kid at a McDonald's took the stickers sheet of its toy and just pasted it on a piece of paper. Take the time to make it look good. This took me over an hour because I literally had to do math on the side to make sure it was symmetrical, but if you follow these instructions, you can probably just do this in about a half an hour. It's really not that hard. So that's going to be it for this video. Let me know what you guys thought, what you'd like to see me make in the future. I'm pretty darn good at these, and they're a lot of fun to make, and I like making things of things that I love and putting them in other games. That's what Emblem editing and modding and all that good stuff is all about. So I'm just go ahead and set that here, and it's great. Can't nerf this because you're D.Va now.